I was trying to figure out I was gonna name like the title for
Uh-huh.
YouTube, man, for like, for the pod. I'm like, man, it's just so many bad ideas.
Yeah, bad.
Like
Yeah, that's the name of it.
so
So
many
many bad
bad
ideas.
ideas,
So
man.
many bad.
Like, hey, what's up? It's Rashad Antonio. We are the Upon Further Review. Back at it, man. On time. Alien Earth, episode number 4. The name of the episode is something with a D. I forgot.
No, actually, observation.
Oh, even worse. All spoilers, man. I got to talk about a thing to talk about a thing. I just want to say
Hmm.
this episode is basically summed up in like, in real very tidily. And the essence of this episode is this. We all some liars. Everybody lying.
You know what else? You know what else it could be tied up into?
What's that?
Child predators.
Oh my God. Oh man. Hey, hey.
This whole episode
Oh,
was
also, also,
uh-huh.
I'm playing the long con,
Okay.
and I get to that in a minute. Go ahead.
Okay. This to me, this episode was a basically a Cliff Notes how to manipulate and be a child predator. And just manipulate kids, man.
Not the
You
clip
know.
notes.
It was like Cliff Notes on how to manipulate children and to be a child predator. Because we saw that from two people the entire episode. Okay, I'm gonna put it like this. To me, I'll just say this. I think the one person on this show that is the least trash out of everybody is the one that's the android, the synth, Kish.
Kirsch.
Kirsch,
So,
excuse me.
and it's
He's like the most non-trash person on this show, and he's not even human.
at all. And it's funny you mention him because
Uh-huh.
Kirsch is who I'm talking about. Kirsch is playing the long con. And that
Hmm.
became so clear this episode. We saw little hints of it before because
Hmm.
Cavalier has been summarily hoeing him the entire series.
Hmm.
And then we see today
Hmm.
in the last episode, he is like, you know what? I'm gonna let that black cyborg infiltrate us so I can cause chaos. So then nobody else will see or blame me as the culprit.
Hmm.
And by that time, Boy will be dead. All the other humans will be dead. It'll just
Hmm.
be me and my new little hybrid family.
Hmm. Hmm.
And if that, okay, because we've been trying to figure out how do we not hear about the Prodigy Corporation? And this is the clearest designation as to why
Hmm.
we don't, because this
They
island's
don't
gonna
exist no
nah,
more.
this island is gonna be turned into Xenomorph Island by the time we finish.
Uh-huh.
You feel what I'm saying? And it's gonna be like Jurassic Park,
Cue, I'm
but
about
for
to say,
Xenomorph.
I'm about to say, cue the Jurassic Park music.
Yo, because like I don't see no other way unless Utani can come through and like really like bag everything up and sweep it under the rug very neat, nice and neatly. But outside of that,
I honestly think that's what's gonna. I think they're just like, I don't like this kid, boy, Cavalier. He's he he is being exactly what we refer to what his name is on the show, a boy. And to quote one of our mentors, not a man, a boy.
oh boy,
N- That's what you are. Nothing more, nothing less. Just a boy. And that's exactly what he is, man.
In the words of Kendricks, I heard you the boy, but I ain't seen but with a man because I ain't seen one yet. Can I
Yeah,
beat him yet? Bet. Yeah,
yeah.
man.
It's it's just crazy, man. And the fact that and some of y'all might be like, "No, Antonio, you ain't just gonna gloss over the fact you said this episode was a how to be a child predator." I'm going to explain it real quick.
Go ahead.
Number one, you have Morrow, okay, who ba- who basically has put that we saw last episode put that little silicone bug type thing in slightly, and it's just like, "Hey, kid." I, I, you gonna be my friend? So we saw that in the last episode. It's like everybody need friends. You're right. Will you be my friend? So he's talking. They're pillow talking. Like, hey, I think in order for us to trust each other, you ought to tell me your name. Tell us our names. He says, yo, this is my name. Well, like that. He says, what's your name? Slightly. No, no, no. What's your real name? Slightly. Because I think people watch this and then it's like you always forget until you start hearing these folks talk. There are children inside adult bodies, in synthetic adult bodies. And it slightly says the name. Like, oh, okay, cool, cool. Well, this is what I want you to do slightly. You know, I think I need you to get me some eggs. And slightly, why don't you just go to the store? He said, go to the store and get the eggs. And he was
Bro.
like, no, 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 no. These are the special eggs. He's like, oh, I don't know if I can get them in. He says, that would be stealing. He says, well, would it be stealing if they stole them from me first? I'm just reclaiming my property. And he was like, I guess so. He was like, yeah, man, just go ahead and see what it's, just he was like, oh, okay, I'll do it. Slightly tries to do it. And and you see he's paranoid the whole time, like, and he's like, I can't do it. So he goes back on the little lakefront. Can you hear me? Try to talk to communicate. You there? Morrow's like, hey, yeah, I'm here, man. What's up? Did you get my eggs? He was like, I he said, I can't, man. My friends. He was like, is it that you can't or that you won't? And he was like, uh, 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 uh. And then he was like, you know what? That's okay. I know somebody here that would like to talk to you. I'm here with your mom. And he was like, what? He was like, yeah. And then you hear Moral voice get real. Yeah. So I'm having a problem with you not getting my eggs. He says, I think your brother's about to come home soon. And he was like, Mom! And she was like, nah, she can't hear you. Or whatever. He's like freak.
Oh my
And
God.
and that's child predator like, hey, if you tell someone, I'm gonna kill your family. I'm gonna kill your parents.
But he
And kid
really is.
and kids are like, and like we hear about this stuff that happens, and kids be like, no, not my mom and dad. Don't. I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Just don't hurt my mom and dad. My mom and stuff. And he's like freaking out about this going on. And then he was like, so yeah, this is what I want. I don't want you to bring the eggs out. I want you to find a way to get somebody in there. And he's like, all right, fine, I will. And he was like, I want you to get a human in there. Just get him real close up to one of the eggs, and they'll do the rest. Well, what's going to happen? Oh, something in the egg is going to hop out and latch onto his face. That's it. It reminded me of Major Payne when he was telling that little story. That stuff. He said, something's going to hop out and latch onto his face and plant something in him. And then he was like, "Are they gonna be hurt? No, they're gonna they're gonna get up and they're gonna be all right." A couple of days later, they might not feel too good. He said they might not feel too good, and he was like, "So I need you to do that." But lo and behold, we find out this episode, our boy, Kirsch, he's
Kirsch.
figured out. Kirsch, I keep calling him Kirsch. Kirsch done figured out what's going on,
Yeah.
and he is monitoring this the entire time, and is like, "Uh-huh."
I am
Uh-huh.
going to let this happen.
I'm going to let this happen. I'm not going to say a word, and we gonna see what happens, and we gonna see where we go from here. That's child predator number one. Go ahead,
A-
Rashad.
Hey, you know who Morrow remind me of?
Who's that?
Herbert the pervert. Hey,
Hey, Chris.
hey, Chris, got some popsicles down in my
Popsicles out of
basement.
me. Yeah. You're funny, Mr. Herbert. Bring your fat
Y'all, y'all strong,
ass.
y'all strong and muscular, Chris.
Bring your fat ass over here.
Huh? Oh no, nothing,
Nothing.
Chris.
Hi, Cal. Hey, yo, Morrow
Yo,
is such a creep with this kid. Then we got child predator number two,
the boy himself.
the boy Cavalier himself. You know, he's basically does the same thing. Wendy comes in and she's like, hey, I'm supposed to be meeting with the doctor. She's thinking she's supposed to be meeting with the psychiatrist doctor, whatever. And he's talking like, yeah. He was like, yeah, this place is secret, blah, 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 this and that. He says, you all right? Cool, yeah. He says, yeah, I think the one problem is your brother. And she's like, what? He's not a problem. He's like, yeah, he's a problem. He needs to go. And she's like, and when he's like, no, no, like what? No, and he was like, yeah, it's clouding your judgment. No, he's not. And he's like, he's like, "Oh, you know what? Because we find out in the beginning of the episode that Wendy, because she is a synth, a hybrid synth, she can replicate the sounds that she hear, and she was saying that she thinks the xenomorphs were communicating with her, and that is the sound. And she even said it in there. What you said last week, Rashad, shout out to you because you said that they picked her. You said it, and she was like, I think they picked me for this or whatever. And we saw where her brother came in there and was like, hey, she needs her rest and this and that. And he said, she has a lithium ion battery in her. She's gonna last for like 1,000 years.
The man said enough to power a small
Oh,
town.
sorry,
I was
enough
like,
for
damn.
starving a small town. Just like she's all right, and and he's gaslighting. And the thing is, boy is gaslighting her in front of him, and then she goes and says, "I can speak for myself," type stuff or whatever. But when he gets her alone, he's like, "Yeah, your brother gotta go," and she's like, "No, this that." He's like, "I have an idea. How about you decipher what the xenomorphs are trying to say, and I'll let him stay. Your brother stay. Really? He can be all yours. Yeah, I'll do that. That's great." Child predators are on this show all over the place.
And this is after him telling Hermit that look, he said, hey man, you should see what we doing with your long big bro, because like it's crazy down in the
Oh,
basement. And he
yeah.
and Hermit's like, I know y'all ain't got them aliens downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
And the boy says, yeah, we got them
Yeah.
aliens
We got them
downstairs.
downstairs. We do. Yeah, we got them
We
James
got
now.
them. We got them. We know all we do. We running experiments. So what you
We
like?
run.
What you thought I was gonna do? Give them to you, Tani?
Yeah. Yeah. And then like you see how like I said, this place is manipulative. It reminds me so much. I think I said this in the first episode. This reminds me of the movie Ready Player One with the IOI Corporation where people sign them contracts and they gotta work for them and everything because
The worst 360 deal ever.
ever. So you see later on, Boy Cavalier sends his right hand man, that old bald headed dude, to go holler at Hermit, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Hey, yeah, blah 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 blah, this and that," and Hermit is all like, "Hey, stop calling her Wendy. Her name is, he was saying her real name." He was like, "No, this is she's our property or whatever." He's like, well, when can I take her home? He said, home. She is home. And he was like, well, no. He was like, it was like, no, 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 no. You know too many secrets and this and that, and you can't take her home. And it was like, you could either stay or go. And he was like, fine, I quit. All right, bet you quit. So this is what's going to happen because, like I said, you know all these secrets and everything that's going on that we're working at. Because your sister is a prototype type thing, and she's the bomb diggity with this prototype type thing. What's going to happen is I'll call the guards, get you out of here. She's going to stay here. You'll never see her again. Oh, by the way, that new lung you got, we're gonna send you a bill for that new lung that you have. And I know in his mind he was like, niggas, y'all took my lung out of me. Like, what?
Not even that, but I got hurt at work.
I got hurt at work.
I
Work
got
was
hurt.
God.
Yo, oh yeah, yo, when
I know
boy
what you
was
about to say.
like, yeah, like you work for me.
You were, yeah, you
He
were.
said
He
sort
said,
of. It's like
sort of.
it's a subsidiary of a
Of a
subsidiary
subsidiary
of
of
another
the
subsidiary.
subsidiary.
I was like, yeah, and again, just the corporatization of everything in that world,
Mm-hmm.
how the corporations
The
own the
five.
world, the
The
five,
five. Mm-hmm.
yeah, they have their own name, like that old MSNBC show. So
Oh yeah.
it's interesting that it took
It's
capitalism wins every time,
It's
and
giving Disney, Amazon, what else? What
Apple,
Apple,
Google,
Google,
you know,
is that
who
hey,
else?
what else? All these corporations that own, said that own everything. That's what this show is giving, especially with, like I said, the companies that man, you like we would say, Rashad, like you think about it in itself, like Wayland Yutani owns North America, South America, Saturn, and Mars, bitches. Mars, bitches. How, how are you a corporation and you own two planets? One of the planets is a gas giant. I don't even think you can land anything on Saturn. You're just like, yeah, Saturn.
Yeah, like I don't know what you gonna do. Like it does not make like when they said I was like, why Saturn?
Right.
I was so confused.
Unless they taking like those gases from Saturn to use it as some type of fuel, you know what I'm
Right,
saying, or
like
whatever,
hey,
like that. But yeah, yeah.
it's a
For
mystery.
yes, for the people out there, yes, I'm a big science nerd and stuff like that. Majority of the planets in our solar system are gas giants. They're like gas. They're just made of gas, methane. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, hydrogen, all these other gas, like what Venus, Jupiter, Saturn,
Yeah, full of sulfur.
Nep Neptune, like Neptune. Yeah,
That's
that's
was
all it is.
that's the ice. That's just
Yeah,
ice, right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and I thought it was Pluto. Well, I forget because they say
Yeah,
Pluto's not a
well, yeah,
planet no more.
planet.
Whatever.
It's a moon. You know what I'm saying?
It's a moon there, whatever. What we grew up in a time where Pluto was a planet, so in my mind, Pluto's still a planet. But yeah, it's a gas giant. How do you own a planet, two planets on top? Yo, this, the world of Alien is wild as hell, man. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Rashad.
Nah, it really is.
Uh-huh.
So them basically blackmailing Hermit to
Mm-hmm.
staying, not only him, but his crew,
True,
they was
yeah.
like, yo, we staying here. And they like, man, this is great. And I'm
They're,
like, little do
they're
they
like,
know,
ooh, welcome to the good life.
nah, it's about to be it's about to be hell block in a minute. So so they're all so everybody is kind of you can see how they're setting up all the pieces because this episode was a it's like a transition episode because we
Mm-hmm.
need to let everybody know where everybody is,
Mm-hmm.
who's doing what.
Mm-hmm.
It felt like that good like maybe third or fourth. I hate to comp, but you know it's our favorite. Game of Thrones episode where there's
Mm-hmm.
been a bunch of action, and then all of a sudden it's just Littlefinger and Varys talking
Mm-hmm.
about how they're gonna just double cross each other the whole time. That's really kind of how this episode was because everybody was plotting to the nth degree.
Chaos is real.
Everybody,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
everybody's plotting.
Mm-hmm. And then we find out too that the two main scientists on this thing are husband and wife.
Yeah, which I feel like I thought they were, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they specifically told us.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah,
This was like the first time they do because the husband is kind of like, hey, because you see him like walking around on the island and he's trying to find a spot where there's no cameras, like a blind spot, and he's like, hey, girl, this ain't it, yo. Like, we need to. hey, we might need to get up out of here, like type state. And she's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. We're just working. Everything's going to be fine. And he's like, listen, I need you to listen to me as your husband, as not as a scientist, as your part, but as your husband or whatever.
Yeah, because like a couple weeks ago, I posted on Threads like it was Kirsch and Sylvie, and I was like the weirdest mom and dad are fighting ever,
Mm-hmm.
and because that's kind of how they have it set up in the show is like Kirsch is like the male figure,
Mm-hmm.
and Dame Sylvia is
The motherly, yeah.
she's the mom. It's definitely the maternal factor, which
Mm-hmm.
leads us into her and Nibs.
Whoa.
Nibs is in full crash out mode. Not only that, I think that they're gonna put her offline forever.
Ever.
If they know what they're if okay, if they know what's good for them, they'll pull the plug on that. And on top
Mm-hmm.
of that, Kirsch is probably gonna put her back online because again, I just feel like Kirsch is gonna he wants the chaos so he can just
Yeah.
leave.
Kirsch is showing signs of David from
That's what I'm
from
saying.
Prometheus and Alien Covenant. He's showing
Hmm.
so much David signs
Because
of the
because David was like he was like, oh, okay. But
yeah.
then they be like, what 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 do you mean okay?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's thinking too hard and he's
Yeah,
probably thinking
yeah.
these humans are stupid and they're trash.
Yes, man. Because remember the conversation he had with the kids earlier. Matter of fact, he had with Wendy talking about humanity
Oh yeah.
and how basically like they're just resource hoggers and they're gonna
Mm-hmm.
it's taking this far to get to this point.
Parasites.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah.
parasite. Basically, humans are parasites or whatever. The same thing that was the problem that the machines had in the
In the
Matrix.
Matrix, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So the thing with Nibs is like I said. So Sylvia and her husband having their conversation. Nibs come over and like, oh hey girl, what's going on? How you doing? I'm pregnant. The faces that they had, especially the husband, he went, huh? It's just like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And they look at each other and she's just like, it's like, yeah, no, that's not really. And she's like rubbing her stomach and stuff. And I'm like, eh,
Yo, it's such a
yeah.
crazy turn.
And she's like, oh, okay. Hey, come have a meeting with me about. So what exactly? Yeah, I'm pregnant. I'm about to be a mom. And she's talking and she's playing with the little stuffed animal thing and said that, oh, I'm a name. What type of name should we? And she is so Sylvie's like, hey, you shouldn't. And then she starts to, what do you mean? Like she starts to spaz and you see she like, oh, this robot, this she's like, hey, let's have some tea. What type of tea would you like? She said, oh, cinnamon apple. She was like, good choice. She goes over there. She is pushing the hell out the button. Oh, that dago over there by that bar. And she says, ah, Nibs, I forgot I have a meeting with Boy Cavalier. So go ahead and go to your room and I'll come see you later. And it's and that. They'll escort you. Security will escort you to make sure. She was like, okay. And she's like, do 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 do. She sees this kid. She says, hey, lock her into her room, reinforce that room. He says, when you see this person, tell them code 3. They know exactly what to do. Discreetly, but get her the hell away from here and get her locked up right now.
Tony, when they were having this conversation,
Mm-hmm.
and Niv said, "I'm sorry." Dame asked her, "Do you know how like this is? We never sat y'all
Yeah.
down." And she
Uh-huh.
said, "Look, yo, I was born on a farm. I know how it's done." And she explained the whole birthing process. And
Uh-huh.
even after that, because Sylvia's like, "So you know how this works, and you still think you're pregnant?" And Sylvia said, I mean not Sylvia, and
Nibs.
Niv said, "Hey, Jesus didn't have a daddy. He was born." I said, yo, this girl is crazy. Also, shout out to Jesus in the 22nd century,
This
still
century,
being
yeah.
around.
Amen.
That was like, okay, so we still got organized religion to a certain respect.
Right.
That was so funny because she compared herself to the Immaculate Conception.
Yes.
And I was weak. The
Uh-huh.
delusion that she is living in because she doesn't want to deal with the trauma because Sylvia was like, hey man, so what happened when y'all was back on the ship? I ain't trying to talk about that. I was like, she's like, hey, and then
Uh-huh.
got in her face like right here.
Uh-huh.
I said, I don't want to talk about it no more. And so it was like,
Yeah.
all right, okay, all right,
You
all
know
right.
what that reminded me of? That reminded me of that episode of Beyond Scared Straight when the little white boy was talking to his parents behind the glass, and then and he had that big black security officer, and he was like, and he said, he got it behind him, he grabbed the back of that neck and said, "Tell them you apologize, or I'm gonna whoop your ass." And she, that's what Dr. Symphony did. That was
Yo, Nibs is yeah in full crash out
again,
mode,
yeah,
man. Like I
yeah,
was, it took a like I was kind of jarred by it,
yeah.
but at this point, it's like, man, I don't care. It's hilarious to me because I think this is kind of shows you. Okay, so here's the thing:
Hmm.
they have to have differentiating factors for all of the for the hybrids.
Yeah. Hmm.
So we see Nibs is essentially having a mental breakdown.
Hmm.
Wendy is transcending into something different.
Hmm.
Slightly is being groomed.
Uh-huh.
What's the black guy's name?
Yeah. Yeah. He's just a playful.
He's just still
That's
bit.
Tuttle's. No, that's not Tuttle's. He's just playful,
Yeah,
and he's just here. He's here for the good time.
he's still a kid. Like he's the
Uh,
most still a kid. And then
Tuttle's Tuttle's the assistant. He's like because he's starting to get more information. They're giving him more knowledge to be an assistant. He's becoming more self-aware, and he's like, "Hey, can I have my own name?" And Crush is like,
yeah, Toodles. Yeah, Toodles.
"To." He's like, "So Toodles." He's like, "Your own name? Why?" He was like, "It's that. So what you want?" Isaac, as in Dr. Isaac Newton. Yeah. So that, and then you got Curly, who is basically suffering from jealous girl syndrome. Jealous girl syndrome. Like you like because she can't stand the fact that Wendy is the favorite. And Boy Cavalier made it even worse. Like I said, when Wendy found out, that she could hear to speak to the aliens and stuff. And then he looks at her and said, huh, I think that's more important than speaking French. I said, oh, why you do that to that girl?
So
He gave her the, you don't even go here anymore.
yes. There's so many people that want to kill Boy Cavalier right in his
Mm-hmm.
own face.
Mm-hmm.
And his sheer amount of I can't even say the word
Hub-
hubris. His
Hubris.
sheer amount of hubris, Tony,
Uh-huh.
is going to get him murdered. And like watching him this episode, he just like because he got all this money, he can move as weird as he wants.
Mm-hmm.
Because remember, he's still walking around barefoot the whole time in his dirty place.
In a
And
bathrobe.
then yeah, in the bathrobe. And then when he came in the room, he had his feet up and he pointed his foot
But he did.
to
I was
beckon her. I
he
was
said
like,
he had his foot to myself and just said, go sit on have a sit on with his foot. I said, you effing weirdo.
I said, yo, this dude got too much money, man. Like that. Because it just informs you of how but okay, so money can delude you, but also actually being intelligent is not always the best
Yeah.
thing because when it gets to your head, especially when you've been okay, I got the comp. Boy Cavalier is like a child star, and the child star has essentially been getting money, getting accolades and recognition, awards, all throughout his childhood. So he does not understand regular life. So when Child Star becomes an adult, he's still thinking, I can do all these childish things still.
I got a point for that. This is a major throwback. You might not even remember this.
Okay.
Movie called The Money Pit with
I didn't
Tom
remember,
Hanks.
I didn't remember that.
If you can remember, there's a scene in The Money Pit early on when Tom Hanks sees the house he wants to get, and he's trying to go because he's like a promoter to a manager to all these actors and musicians and stuff. He goes to his biggest client, a kid named Benny, who's like a child star. Benny is like 15, walking around smoking like 12, 13, smoking a cigarette, like just bathrobe like Boy Cavalier, propping his feet up. His mom is actually his maid and stuff. And then like he's just being a jerk to Tom Hanks and stuff. He's like, Benny, blah, 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 blah. And what got Benny to acquiesce, he was like, what you gonna do? Leave me? I'm your biggest client. He says, if you don't give me the money, Benny, I won't be your friend or like you anymore. And Benny went, what? What you mean? Boy Cavalier just wants to be, he wants to be able to do what he wants and just have people that are lackeys around him. Even what happened with Curly, when they turned Wendy's hearing back on, and they said, "Hey, do you hear the sound?" She says, "No." They was like, and they started doing the frequencies so she could hear the aliens. She was like, "Do you?" She says, "There it is. I hear it. I hear it." And he looks at Curly and says, "Can you hear?" And she said, He says, "Don't tell me what I want to hear. Do you hear it?" And she was like, "No, I don't hear
Nah.
anything. Or what? I don't hear anything." Boy Cavalier is unhinged, and he showed it in two things too in this. When he had the conversation with Wendy about her brother and stuff, and Wendy was saying, he was like, "Do you know what they're saying or what they're trying to communicate?" She was like, "Yeah, I don't." She says, "Yeah, I don't think you should have cut him open." Why? And she was like, "Would you want to be cut open?" And he was like, he just starts talking crazy. And she's like, "Okay," but when they started performing experiments on that lamb, Rashad, and we saw that eyeball thing in action, I actually had to rewind it to watch it again to be like, what the hell is going on here? What the hell is going on here? Everyone is like, what the hell is going on? His right hand man is watching him look at this, and he's getting. I have a feeling that Boy Cavalier probably had a hard on watching this, so him get so excited.
Ah.
His right hand man said, "Hey, I think we gotta shut this shit down." He says, "Because if one of these things get out," and he's like, "Oh, it's triple plated glass," and then takes a ball and throws it. I said, this dude's gonna die. So I said, this dude is gonna die. He's gonna
Again,
die.
everybody hates Boy. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so many candidates
Mm-hmm.
for him to be eviscerated off this
Mm-hmm.
earth. Like, don't nobody, ain't nobody a friend to him. And he
Mm-hmm.
has no friends because he thinks that because I have this intelligence
Mm-hmm.
that it makes me better than, and not
Mm-hmm.
understanding that because I have this intelligence, I can do all the things that I'm doing because he's still thinking like a kid. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if you ever been, especially like growing up when we grew up,
Mm-hmm.
they separated everybody in school based on your intelligence level.
And your cognitive, say
Up
cognitive and
through
intelligence.
up through elementary, especially for us, especially middle school. When we got
Yeah.
to middle school, they separated the hell out of us. And you can clearly see
Mm-hmm.
that this is a smarts class, it's not a smarts class, and them dudes back there,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they struggle and they were struggling together.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how he views the world, except for he's the only person in his class.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody in his class but him.
Right. And he acts like um Waylon. He
Yeah.
acts like Waylon. And we saw how Waylon was, especially in Prometheus, where he basically was in cryo freeze and went with them because he wanted to meet the engineers and find out a way to,
Live
live
forever.
forever. And the engineer looked at him like, why should you live forever? Communicate. And he's like, I created this. Oh, this is what you created? David, this is what you created? F your creation. He tossed that shit and then he killed. Yeah, man. Like, Boy Cavalier is really Elon Musk. And we both said that in the
Yeah,
first episode
yeah,
about that.
yeah.
He is the first two
Actual,
episodes.
actual smart Elon Musk.
Yeah, actual smart who actually does stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, man.
man. Like again, a great episode, light on the action, but heavy on the plotting.
And before we go, we got to talk about how it ended.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Wendy is meeting with the rest of the kids, the lost kids, or whatever they're talking. Slightly comes in because he's just finished getting paranoid because he feels his parents, his families, and he sees Wendy's brother. What is he doing here? And she was like, "Oh, that's my brother." Yo, the rest of us got brothers and sisters and family. Why can't they be here? They was like, "Hey man, relax. What's wrong with you?" No, this is he gotta go if they. And then Herbert's like, he's right. You guys should be here. And Wendy's like, all right, y'all relax. I'm going to go do some research stuff. So she goes and sees the lung, and she's communicating, and something's talking back to her in the lung. Oh boy! Next thing you know, that go xenomorph, boom, busts out and they start clicking and talking to each other. Kirsch is watching like, oh, I see what the hell we got here. I think I found my way. And Wendy starts to pet it and stroke it. It has made a friend of the newly born child xenomorph. Roll credits.
Yeah, man.
This is not about to be good. This is a this is about
Yo, again, I was trying to figure out I was gonna name like the title for
uh-huh.
YouTube and for like for the pod. I'm like, man, it's just so many bad ideas.
Yeah, bad.
Like
Yeah, that's the name of it.
so
So
many
many bad
bad
ideas.
ideas,
So
man.
many bad.
Like,
And this is the halfway point, by the way, in the season because it's 8 episodes.
yeah, yeah. Episode
So,
4. So I am I'm getting ready to see a precipitous fall of this beautiful island compound.
hmm
Just bodies on bodies on bodies on
hmm
bodies, man. Like it's about to be
pure
ext
evisceration.
extremely ugly
hmm
at over at Neverland, man. It's
Yeah,
yeah. It's just man, I was watching this episode like, yo, why like it's just like the bad ideas are just compounding on each other,
right.
and it's the levee's gonna break, and it's gonna be a flood of blood.
Where's Han Solo when you need him? I got a
Yeah, I
bad
got a
feeling.
bad
I got
feeling
a
about
feeling
this, man.
about this one.
They don't got no Star Wars, but they got Ice Age in that world. Yeah, that's all we got for this one, man. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God willing. God willing.
Peacemaker, man.
Yeah.
Episode 2.
Yeah, episode 2.
Episode 2, season 2, episode 2. Episode 1 was wild,
Wow.
and just like this one, wild ending as well. If you
hmm
haven't checked our review, go back to the channel, check that.
hmm
Watch the episode tonight. Meet us here tomorrow at 7 p.m. on all the things, man. Yeah, it's been hella busy. I've been super slack on the socials. I can't lie, but still get at us, man. IG, FB, TikTok, especially YouTube, and also Threads when I feel like has something to say that is witty and or
Yeah.
smart. But other than that, you got anything else?
I got nothing. That's it.
Till the next time.
Peace.